Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Ms. Sharp with owner of Dreams Gone Mobile, and today we're gonna be talking about how to prepare for a grand opening for your food truck business. So if you wanna learn more about food trucks and how to start one, make sure you click that like and subscribe button. So when you have a grand opening, you gotta make sure that you're preparing yourself for what's to come. And there's a lot of things that entail running a business and starting the grand opening and preparing for it. So let's go into it and talk about staff. When it comes to staff and your employees, you have to make sure you're properly training them. Your employees have to have gloves every time they're handling any kind of food because that is something that is required when it comes to the state. So making sure that they have their gloves, that they're washing their hands, they're sanitizing everything is key when it comes to properly handling food. That proper training is super important because they also test you. The state can test you for anything. They can test the employees, they can test the owner. It all varies. So properly training them on how to handle the food is important, and they also offer different classes to where they're trained properly either by you or the staff that offers those classes. When it also comes to training, you also have to keep in mind that training your employees with date marking is important and it's crucial. You wanna make sure that your staff and employees know when to properly date mark it. So there are expiration dates even when you season things. With staff, you also have to consider positioning. So with positioning on a food truck, you're definitely gonna have to have a cashier, a chef, and someone that's gonna be preparing all the plates to pass over to the cashier, or someone who's gonna be at the window serving all the food. So with chef, you have someone handling the food, cooking all the food. Once they're done, you pass it over to the person who's gonna be preparing the plates, and then you serve it either yourself or to the cashier, depending on who's gonna be taking that role. It depends on how busy you are, so you have to make sure you have a constant flow of how your line work is gonna be and who's gonna be handling what. The final part in training your staff is customer service. So think about Chick-fil-A, may I serve you? You have to have proper etiquette. You have to make sure your customer service is on point. Customers always look for that. They'd rather go somewhere else and get great customer service, pay whatever it is that they charge, instead of getting something that's crappy. You don't wanna have that for your business, and you definitely don't wanna have a bad rep for your business. Going more into detail about that is attention to detail. If there's one thing that I love is when someone repeats my order and knows exactly what I want and it's done properly. Customer service entails so many things, and it's what makes your business. People will rather choose you than someone they have a bad experience with. So if you offer that great experience to that customer, they can go and tell someone else, and then the word of mouth just spreads from there. When it comes to your grand opening, one of the biggest mistakes that I know that I made was I didn't have all my supplies. Something as simple as straws can throw out the entire routine. So I'm gonna give you a quick list of things that I would say or suggest that you do when it comes to shopping for your food truck. Cleaning products, definitely have that. Cutlery, forks, spoons, knives, napkins, to-go plates, any type of bags that you have, whether they say thank you or plain. Cups, if you're gonna be serving any juices, straws, even the lids, don't forget those. Any pepper, salt, condiments, things like that. So look at your menu and think about the things that you're gonna be serving and see what you need in order to create that actual plate. Next topic is food. I love food. So next topic is food. There's never enough food. People love to eat. So if you run out of food, you're basically telling yourself you're not gonna make enough money. You're cutting yourself short. Having enough food is gonna help you in any event, any grand opening. I have plenty of clients that have understocked on food and ran out in the middle of the day. You wanna make sure you maximize your entire day by overstocking yourself. And whatever you have left over, don't worry about the waste, because you can always date mark that for the future. Also, everything on your menu is part of your inventory. So whatever is on your menu, burgers, wings, fries, seasonings, sauces, all your proteins, all your liquids, anything that you have, make a list, make sure you have it in your inventory, and whenever you're running low, you overstock. Final topic is equipment functionality. So when we're going into that, we're talking about the plumbing, the electrical, and the gas. You have to make sure all that is working properly. Obviously, you have to be able to connect to whatever it is you have connected for the electrical, your plumbing, hot water, water pump, making sure the water's actually spitting out and making sure that it gets hot. And then the gas lines, make sure they start up. When it comes to the electrical though, you're not always off the hook. So even though the plugs and everything is working properly, you have to also make sure that each individual equipment is also functioning. Once you've determined that everything is working properly, now we have to test run the equipment by training ourselves on how to work the equipment. So things like flat tops, what temperature do you use to cook anything like a burger? Or your fryers, what temperature do you use to cook French fries? So you can do something like a little family get together the night before or a couple days before, just so they can test out your food and you can see how long it actually takes you to cook that meal. So although this was specifically for food trucks, this can also be something that be useful for any business that's preparing for a grand opening. In the food industry, in the mobile industry, there are very general things like employee staff and things like that that you need to know when it comes to running a business. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time.